We have Iron Fist premiering tonight. I am super pumped to see Iron Fist. I've loved the character for a long time. He has some of the best comic book series. The Immortal Iron Fist comic that came out a little while ago, really groundbreaking and innovative and makes the character so unique. But before we get to Iron Fist, there was this really great series that came out that Netflix did. It was one of their Defender-esque things. It was underrated, but everyone still liked it, and it was underrated. But to me, this is my favorite of all the things that we've seen from the Netflix series with the Marvel characters. That is Jessica Jones. And yeah, I know people say that Daredevil's the best series. Luke Cage was innovative and groundbreaking in terms of its characters. I love Jessica Jones the most. And I thought today I could talk about why that is. Why was Jessica Jones the one I gravitated towards the most? Why did I like that character? And why did I like that series more than any of the ones that I've seen elsewhere? So, to jump right in it, I'm just going to say, before I seen this series, before I watched the Jessica Jones series, I knew of the character. There was this beautiful run by Brian Michael Bendis of The New Avengers. I love that book. It's one of the books that got me back into comics. And when I saw that series, there was a side character in there. Luke Cage became an Avenger, and there's a side character in there called Jessica Jones. I didn't know anything about her. I did not read the actual Alias books that came out about Jessica Jones until after I watched the series. But that character, she intrigued me. There was something about her that I knew there was something more to her. And one of the first issues where we see the prison break on the raft and you see Luke Cage and he meets the Purple Man, and it's like, what is the history here? What does he mean? You'll never touch my wife again. And I was, what is that? Who's your wife? That intrigued me right away. It was something I really was interested in, and it made me want to see more about this character. So when we finally found out that Jessica Jones was going to be a series, I was really intrigued because I have not picked up the Alias books until after that. I wanted to see what the series could be, and I thought, this might be the one that I'm a little worried about because I already knew Daredevil as a character, and I loved Daredevil as a character before I saw the series. I knew of Luke Cage. I haven't read any of the old Power Man comics from back in the day, and I was in love with Iron Fist, but Jessica Jones was always the oddball out for me. I didn't know anything about the character, and I was really intrigued to learn more. So when the series came out, this was one I remember feeling, this is what cable and the streaming services can do best, and that is change the format from what we've seen before. And I know, of course, it's not a groundbreaking show. Jessica Jones isn't groundbreaking. There's been some things in there we've seen before. It's not new or original. There's a lot of modern concepts, a lot of concepts we've seen before. But if you look at it, I look at it in terms like this. We've seen the vigilante thing that Daredevil did. We've seen it in movies. We've seen it in TV. He didn't do anything new as a character. It was just executed better than a lot of stuff we've seen before. We've seen the Luke Cage story with the Harlem and that kind of stuff. Maybe not to the aesthetic or the sign. We've seen it in Luke Cage. It perfected it. It made it good. We've seen those kind of stories before. But Jessica Jones, I don't think we've ever seen a character so emotionally destroyed and broken and just fighting herself more than she's fighting anybody else in this series better on TV for a female character. This revolutionized how I think and how I view female characters to be written on TV or in cinema. Yes, we have strong characters that we've seen with like Ellen Ripley, Sarah Connor, Princess Leia. Those are strong characters, but there's not an emotional devastation behind them. Yes, there are definitely things of Sigourney Weaver in that series where she's broken and she wants to find someone to be her daughter. She wants to find her daughter. I love all that. But the emotional trauma and the physical and mental and all that trauma that Jessica Jones went through as a character and her whole story is really groundbreaking. It's innovative. I love it. It's so emotional and heartbreaking to see put on screen and put on the streaming service. We could not see the show. You tell me we're going to get Jessica Jones on ABC, on Fox, on CBS. Hell no. That's not how you do Jessica Jones. You can't give that character her proper arc and proper send-off of a story, putting her on one of those services. You just can't. It won't work. It won't feel authentic. It won't feel like the character. And a lot of this I have to give credit to Alias, because it was an R-rated comic. I didn't know what I was going to expect after I read the books, because she is way more heartbreaking and broken, I think, in the books than we see in the show, and that's saying a lot, because there's still a lot with her in the show. So that, to me, was really impactful and really big, is to see her trauma in that. And why was that so groundbreaking, and why did I feel that was something we haven't seen before? Of course, we've seen things like that before, of women going through these experiences, but it's because of the way Krysten Ritter and David Tennant, the two characters in this, Purple Man, Kilgrave, and Jessica Jones, those two characters, the way they knew each other, their history, and the chemistry that these two actors had, it really helped me sell on the fact that she hates him and why she is how she is. We've seen her in her past where she's a little more upbeat, she's a little more happy, but she's still got that sarcastic undertone. Of course she has that. That's a signature for her. But not until she meets Kilgrave does she really lose herself. And after the whole experience with him, it's going to be interesting to see her going forward as a character from the traumatic things of killing Kilgrave, where she goes with that. But seeing a character who was so vulnerable and so heartbreakingly broken, you just want to help her and tell her she feels good, but she's closed herself off from everybody in her life, except for like Trish. And it's so intense and it's so real, and there's people who have been through the experiences that the character of Jessica Jones has been through, and I'm not going to say what those are, because sometimes it's just better not to be said what some of the things happen to her sexually and physically and emotionally, because they're heartbreaking and they destroy her as a character. And why I think the character is so powerful and a staple for something that we could see with female characters going forward is because it's relatable and it's hard to watch. It's an intensity to her that we haven't really seen in a bunch of characters before. And I keep saying that. We've seen characters like this before, but the way she plays it, the way she deals with it, she closes herself off, she starts drinking, she's an alcoholic, and she's just sarcastic and tosses people aside, she doesn't care for them. It's a powerful character, and it was a really nice character study that I didn't see when we saw Daredevil or Luke Cage. And yes, we saw character studies in there. Daredevil going through trying to figure out who he is, what he is, and how he can deal with that. And Luke Cage trying to leave who he is and not being the person everybody expects him to be. But seeing Jessica Jones dealing with what she did, trying to figure out who she can be afterwards and how she just keeps closing people off. It was emotional, it was intense, and I really did feel connected to the character of Jessica Jones. More than I did for any of the other characters, and that says a lot to Krysten Ritter. I fell in love with her as an actress after watching this performance. And sure, maybe you don't like Jessica Jones' series as much as I do, but I feel like the character of Jessica Jones is so important, she's so impactful, she's so powerful, just in the things she doesn't do, but the things that have happened to her and how she deals with herself, learning to become more and more closed off and more her own person as these go on. And I really think because of who she is and her character, it elevates the show to another level where I really understood and I cared about Jessica Jones more than the other ones. Again, this is all just my opinion. I know you can have other ones, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Everyone likes different things. To me, Jessica Jones was a really nice character, a really different thing that I've seen in the Marvel Universe. I really loved her, everything she did, and everything she stands for and represents, and I think she's a really relatable character, more so than some of the other guys. I mean, of course, we can all relate to Luke Cage and Daredevil, but if you've ever had a traumatic experience and you've ever been through some stuff, I think Jessica Jones is a character you should fall in love with and get to know the character better. And then after you watch the series, go pick up Alias. It's a really good read, it's a really fun read, and it's still emotionally gripping and everything like that. So that'll do it for me. If you like Jessica Jones, let me know. Maybe you like Iron Fist, or you like Luke Cage or Daredevil. That's cool. We all like different things. Alright, see you in the next video. Good luck.